Hiya, good morning all, and hope you're all okay. I've come out today to a place called Hampstead Norris, which is about 7 miles north east of Newbury in Berkshire, and I've come up here to have a look at what remains of RAF Hampstead Norris, which is an old Bomber Command airbase from World War II. So the footpath we're heading across of this farmer's field is heading up towards the Hampstead Norris airfield. So in the intro, I said there about how we were going to be looking at Hampstead Norris, but had come to Hampstead Norris, and apparently the difference between the two, due to local folklore, seems to suggest that it's how the locals pronounce it rather than any actual spelling. Take from that what you will. It might be just that they've misspelled it just so that you can't find it on any map. So made it up to the top of the hill. So between 1939 and 1945 this was an operational airbase, which you'll see a little bit later. But after 1945 it became a part of the Royal Naval Armaments Depot for storing ammunition, principally because they had this woodland as cover, really, to hide all the ammunition that they were storing here. It was a satellite site to RAF Harwell, which is over that way, and RAF Harwell is now where they are doing, it's a kind of like an Oxford University place establishment, where they are studying how to make fusion energy. Anyway, I diverge. Let's get to the World War II remains. So this site you can quite clearly see on LiDAR, which I'll chuck up in a sec. So we know these now from my previous video that these are called Chilwell Mounds, and any explosions are supposed to be directed upwards. Rather than sideways. So obviously this is quite a small one, I would have said. Obviously these are for vehicular access and unloading, and then so effectively you'd drive your lorry in there, you'd unload the bombs or the ammunition or whatever, roll it off sideways, turn it around, and then roll it down this hill. And then you'd kind of like store them stacked up, because obviously you don't need to put any covering on the outside of it, and I'm guessing bombs are waterproof, so okay. And here we come to another armaments depot. There's the remnants of an old car there. So obviously that is too narrow for a vehicle, so that's going to be a personnel. Another old car. I think it looks like VW Beetles. Now most pillboxes are bricked up, so I don't know if I can get into these ones, but let's go and have a look anyway. Crikey, it's open. Do we have a look? Yes, of course we do. I have to get down and crawl, I think, to get in here. It's kind of dark in there. There's an X-shaped thing in the middle. Let's see if I can get a torch. Right, let's have another go. Corrugated steel roof. Maybe not an X shape, but feels like a wooden floor above something or other. Pretty sure someone's been in here recently. You don't get, I don't think a tin of Red Bull is part of the 1945 kind of thing. These are the metal ports to shut off from the outside world. I think somebody called them embrasures. Is that the correct term? I think that's the door. Another pillbox. Similar type to the last one, I think. Hello. Appears to be still in use. Looks like a rifle range. Modern, I think. Probably a modern rifle range. Let's have a look up here. The old blast door is still in place, the closure door. Not really keen on getting down on my hands and knees again for that one, but as it's more or less inside, it's the same thing. But can have a look inside this slot. Yep, carbon copy of the last one, even down to the corrugated iron shed. Sheeting over the top. Still watertight. If you noticed over there that there looks like a flying saucer has landed, I'll go and explain about that in a sec. But first of all, let's go and have a look at the World War II remains. Oh yeah. Looks like an air raid shelter. Let's have a look. Ooh. Ooh, shall we go have a look? Yes, of course we will. Need a torch though. Usually these things are filled up with rubbish. Be careful though. I'm guessing the Haribo and Lucozade bottles aren't consistent with. Wow. Given that this is supposed to be 60 years old, it's in pretty good nick. Tranco, is it? Can't quite make it out. Trianco. A Trianco shelter. We've got here. Oh, an escape hatch. Very interesting. So this path that I'm walking along now, well, kind of like a tractor track, is part of the old runway taxiing thing. So that that piece of woodland down there, obviously 60 years ago that wasn't there, and there were some roads going down there, and they were kind of like the eyeglass kind of shaped dispersal points for aircraft. So the kinds of aircraft coming out of here were Wellington bombers and Tiger moths, but this was part of number 15 operational training unit, and although they were involved mostly with training, their main point for this was to for getting the Wellington bombers out to the Middle East, out to Egypt and stuff like that. So they flew into here, refueled, and then carried on going. So yeah, down there in that woodland is where the dispersal points were. So a dispersal point is where you store aircraft, so that in the event of an air raid and Luftwaffe coming in and machine gunning down the kind of like the aircraft, if you separate them all out, it means that you don't destroy so many aircraft. Anyway, let's go up to this flying saucer up here. So this flying saucer shaped structure is actually modern, and technically it's called a DVOR. And effectively using very high frequency radio waves, and it's a directional radio beacon for aircraft on the approach to Heathrow. There you go, Compton DVOR navigational aid, the National Air Traffic. I don't know what NAT stands for. I'll stick it down in the thing, but obviously high voltage, keep out, and non-ionizing radiation. That sounds horrible. Let's get away from here. Anyway, you can see down here where people have fly tipped rubbish. This is the old runway, or one of the old runways anyway. I'll show the maps and the dispersal, the map of the runways and the dispersal points is quite clear, and I'll stick up a copy of the map of the airfield, but obviously a lot of it has been turned back over to pasture and farming and stuff like that. So but the what they call the old frying pan dispersal points, which are the kind of like the round things that you see on the side of airfields, those are quite clear. It's not like he's dug them up or anything. They actually, you know, if you know the old time team kind of thing, where they say, oh look, you can see the parch marks on the field, but it's a bit like that. When you're walking down roads like this, you when you're in this kind of game of looking for stuff that's World War II related, it's good to have a keen eye out. Little corners of brickwork peeping out of the undergrowth and all that kind of thing. I thought I could hear a tractor then, but looks like the farmer's picked a nice day to go out in his plane. Anyhow, and that's more likely of a an air raid shelter. Someone's dumped a washing machine in it. There's another end though, maybe I can get in there. I'm not above climbing over a washing machine to get into a air raid shelter, but you know, it'd be nice if you don't have to. That looks a little bit more accessible. Although the steps are a bit worn away. Yes, this is dark. Let's get the torch out. Yeah, daylight. Shotgun cartridges. Dripping a bit like a cave, isn't here? But still more or less dry. Brickwork's starting to peel off a little bit. Ventilation hole. Yeah, it's not easy to get out of there. Any artifacts at all? Oh, there's lots of bones. Guess a fox lives in here. Bits of broken glass. Bits of brickwork. Plastic ring pulls, that's modern. Modern but kind of not, I suspect, because obviously ring pulls have been got rid of in the 1980s when they realised they were killing off seagulls. Anyway, let's get out. Yeah, there's something, all this brickwork on these steps. It's more like rubble infill. Anyway, interesting. That's got a bit of barbed wire in there. The escape shaft is filled in. Clearly they don't want you going in there. This is more of a circular type Nissan shed, isn't it? It looks quite modern, to be honest, but maybe it's... Don't know about that. According to Google Maps, this red telephone box and this red post box are tourist attractions. Hard to understand, but anyway. So this is a lovely spot to have lunch. Put that through there so you can have a look. The whalehead. River Pang going down past that pub, which is to let apparently. You would have thought in a village like this you'd have more than enough people passing trade to keep the pub open, but maybe not these days. Maybe it's too expensive.